DISHIN Podcast, episode 23 is live now. We got into a lot on this one, but it was a quick one. We talked a little bit about what we have coming up for the Catwalk for Charity with Ryan Miller. We also talked a little bit about the NBHL mini documentary that we worked on the past year and a half. And what else we chatted about, Maddie?
We got into these sticks. Pretty cool show and tell piece this week. We have custom DISHIN sticks presented by Pro Stock Sticks out of Winnipeg. Shout out to our boy Geppetto for putting these together for us. We also got into 5950 Day coming with New Era. It's going to be on May 9th. We also have a huge lineup with New Era coming this fall, so be on the lookout for that. Episode 23 of the DISHIN Podcast is live now.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the DISHIN Podcast. Episode 23.
Jump, man. Let's go.
Let's
23.
go. You got the shirt on today, too.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Let's rock. Thank you to everybody who watched and tuned into the Miller podcast that we had last week. Unbelievable guest, man. We've only had a few guests on, but the guests that we've had on, we have not missed, I feel like.
Yeah, Miller was great. So, yeah, shout out to Ryan Miller for jumping on with us. Got into some really cool stories with him, stuff away from his playing career. So, if you haven't checked that out yet, episode 22 live on YouTube.
Let's go. And on all your streaming platforms. So, Spotify, Apple Podcast. Derek, you kind of sat out on that episode a little bit. You were kind of more behind the scenes.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to I couldn't see him, obviously, because we were on Zoom with him. But, yeah, it was more so manning the 1 and 2s back here, just making sure everything was good. So, Zoom convos are a little bit different. We can't have a full conversation, so it's a little tough.
I will say, too, shout out to Derek for literally manning. I mean, we had 1, 2, 3, 4...
Technically five
cameras rolling and audio on our end and Ryan's end. So, huge shout out to Derek for basically being the one-man band behind the production, because that was, I'm sure, not easy and a lot of moving parts going on. But everything turned out really well, so
appreciate it.
Without a hitch, too. Everything was perfect. We did a lot of prep work before you guys were going crazy, getting everything all set up, and came out perfect. So
appreciate it. Yeah, done a couple of those with the Bandits podcast before in the past, and was just kind of hoping it worked out the same way, and it did. So hopefully some more Zoom interviews in upcoming episodes for everyone.
Yeah, I thought it went really smooth for the most part too, with that being our first ever Zoom episode.
Just have to be mindful of the delay a little bit. And, kind of letting them talk. And, it's when we have people in person, it's more of like a natural, smooth-flowing conversation, I feel like. But I think we did a good job letting Miller chat. And he had a lot of great things to say. He was yapping for a little bit.
He was, yeah. He's a little more of a soft-spoken guy. But it was cool, like, hearing all the different stories he kind of had, just hearing, like, what his favorite jersey was and a lot of his hobbies that he had, playing here and still to this day. So, and also speaking of Miller, Catwalk for Charity, April 10th, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Seneca One Tower. Tickets are still available. I think by the time this episode's out, the Catwalk will have happened. But if the episode does come out before the Catwalk, again, April 10th at Seneca One Tower, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Thought it was really cool hearing Miller talk about on the last episode about the background of Catwalk and where it got started. I had a feeling it was something to do with his cousin with the Mat Man stuff, which I had known about in the past, but it was just cool to hear, what the reasoning was behind it, because just always curious how these guys come up with their charity ideas and stuff, and like where it sparks, their interest.
Yeah, and to hear it came from Slapshot too.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was great.
Initial runway show from the jump there. Yeah, that was sick. And we have some exciting guests that we're going to be working with on the runway as well that I'm sure we'll get into probably as a recap episode when we come back after Catwalk. But yeah, pumped, man. This Catwalk's going to be sick.
I know we, not to go too far into details just yet, because we don't want to share who's walking for us, but when the Sabres and everybody that was here, we had Cafe here, we had Dell from 26 Shirts, the Vintage Raider. We had all those guys at the shop here last week. And then we also had Pat Coletta pull up along with Dane and Josh from the Buffalo Bandits. And it was cool having them in here. It was funny because when Pat, Josh, and Dane had to go film some stuff with you guys in the back, we met with Rich and Carrie Ann out here, me, Chase from Cafe, Dell, and the Vintage Raider, and we were all out here in the shop, and Rich kind of had an idea of who's going to be walking for who, and he had like a whole list that he was kind of running through with us. And Chase and Ben were actually making trades of like we're like, well, we'll actually take that person that's going to walk for you and we'll give you this person. So we'll get into that after the event and kind of tell you how the trades went down. But me and Ben kind of went into GM mode a little bit.
Yeah.
I wish we had a camera on us for that, because that was actually kind of fun, just, figuring out who's walking for who.
Some conditional picks, some future, what are they called? Future considerations. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was cool. Just having all those guys at the shop, like Coletta, Josh, and Dane, like there was just so much talent in the shop at the same time. So to have everybody here was pretty special. And, for us to just kind of jam everybody in the print room when we're kind of all crowded around the table talking, everybody's showing off different pieces and stuff. It was pretty cool to see. And a lot of guys, it was their first time at the shop. So for them to, see the front and then everything that we do behind the scenes was pretty cool too. And yeah, just, thank you again for the Sabres to coming out to shoot everything. Bernie and Andy and Michelle, those were, we were with some great company here. So
Yeah,
cool.
it was fun, dude. I mean, it's always fun. Like, we talk about this a lot on a lot of different, we've talked about it on previous episodes, but it's fun for people to just come in and really see what we do. I think that there's a lot of things that go on in this shop and in those back rooms, in the print room, that a lot of people really don't see. Like, and we don't showcase it. Like, we talk about it on the podcast. Like, that's one thing. We started doing that last year around this time. But for people to really come in, see what goes on, I think there's a level of respect that's kind of given to a lot of us, because there's so many things that you're doing in the back, that Ben's doing in the back, that Derek and I are doing, that really just kind of go unseen. And when people see that, they're like, oh wow, you guys got a lot going on here. And it's I don't know, it's cool to see people's reactions and to talk to them and see, what they think is cool about it. And I mean, people end up staying here for a longer time than they expect to, because of everything that they get to see here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Benny was saying when Coletta got here, the door was locked and he was like banging on the glass outside. Like, I don't know who he fought back in the day when he was banging on the glass, but it was funny. And some funny conversations that we had with some of those guys that I think the Sabres are going to roll out in a video pretty soon. But just Coletta talking about how he fought a goalie, and just like Josh and Dane are talking about personalized equipment and everything within lacrosse too, and kind of pushing that envelope for creative expression. So everything that we're doing within hockey, it's cool to see that's reciprocated in other sports, and everybody. This entire group that we have between us, the Vintage Ritter Cafe, 26 shirts, and now New Era too. It's just like, I think it's a perfect group of everybody that has different specialties. And for us to be all a part of this event, I think we're going to see some really unique and pretty special looks on the runway. I know we already have some pretty cool stuff planned coming off the first runway that we did, where we had the smiley heads involved, and we already have some cool ideas of what we're going to be doing on the runway as far as activation this year. So this is going to be dope and going to be an awesome night on April 10th.
Yeah, I'm super excited. And again, Catwalk for Charity, April 10th, Seneca 1 Tower, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Again, we're going to be there. Cafe is going to be there. New Era, 26 shirts, the Vintage Raider, and some other special guests will be in the building. So I know we're also going to have some special pieces. Like, there's going to be some merch available on our side. There's going to be possibly jerseys available, which I'm super excited for, and some other collectible items that are only going to be available from us specifically on that day, April 10th, at Seneca 1 Tower. So we're excited to really showcase that. And that's going to be the only day you'll be able to get your hands on that merch, those collectibles. So again, April 10th, Seneca 1 Tower. We'll see you there.
Switching gears a little bit, I want to ask you about NBHL, and I know you and Adam and Derek have been working on that for a minute now. Just talk about like that process, everything that's gone into it, because you sent me the recap video, I think yesterday, and it was so sick, dude. Just like all the lighting and the sound effects, everything that you guys did on like the post-production end was so cool to see. So, talk about that a little bit, and like kind of what went into all that, kind of release day when that's all coming out, and kind of the story behind it all.
Yeah, so we talked about it on earlier, or probably last year on the podcast. Just like what the NBHL is, what they're doing for the sport of hockey. So basically the NBHL is known as the National Ball Hockey League. They are making some serious waves in the ball hockey space, and just basically creating more opportunities for people to play the sport of hockey, because with hockey, there's such a barrier to entry. You have to learn how to skate. You have to learn how to stop and things like that. You have to, all these different things. The equipment cost is a big cost. But with ball hockey, the most expensive thing is really just a stick, and then maybe for the goalies, it's the goalie equipment. But the National Ball Hockey League, I got connected with the commissioner there. He reached out to me a little over a year ago now, just asking, if I'd be available to shoot some stuff for them. Originally, it was just going to be like live content and social content at their tournament here at Riverworks, and we got to talking, and on our first call, and he's like, I'd love to do like some sort of documentary on this league and how we've built it from the ground up, and kind of where we're headed. And I've never really done like a docu-series like that before, or like any sort of long form piece. So that's kind of like what I worked on the last year and a half with them. But it kind of serves as a mini documentary. It's about a 20 minute long piece on how they started and kind of where they're going, and just the opportunities that they're creating for people who want to play hockey but might be maybe a little bit older, or just maybe can't really afford the game. And they're kind of, I guess, again, opening that to everybody, to anybody who wants to play the sport. We got connected in January of 2024, and just had a lot of different conversations again about, how the league started, again, where they're heading, and, things that they're trying to accomplish within the sport. And I think that what we do here, and what the NBHL does, there's a lot of crossover, and I just was very passionate about it throughout this whole process. So I was like, you know what, I've never done a long form piece before. Like, I'd love to just produce it, direct it, and get some heads in to edit this thing, and just really just tell a compelling story, and hopefully bring more people to the sport of hockey. So we just wrapped up post-production. Adam and I worked on this for a very long time, and the documentary mini doc is set to drop April 14th is the date.
It's like, yeah, ball hockey, I feel like was like for me, it was like my first kind of passion and love for hockey. Just like, I don't know, it's so easy to just pop outside with a stick and a ball and just like rip at a net. And I think for a lot of kids too, that is a lot of their first introduction to hockey, is just picking up a stick and being able to play. Because growing up, like there's so much barrier with ice hockey. It's like you have to have all the equipment, you have to have the ice, you have to get a ride to the rink. Like, all that stuff is really challenging and difficult. But I don't know, the NBHL and everything within ball hockey, I think is great for the sport, and to be able to push it forward, I think it's going to be able to open so many kids up to the game that we love. And I know the NHL just announced NHL Street a couple of years ago, which is basically their ball hockey initiative too. And to see everything that you guys are doing alongside the NBHL has been so cool. And to work with the commissioner, I bet is so sick on that front, to have him kind of have the vision for all that, and you be able to execute it with him. Yeah,
and like, they have just such a unique story, and it kind of just started out as like 3-4 buddies of, like, it was just Anthony and 3-4 of his buddies and his brother just they were just playing hockey or ball hockey every weekend, and then they slowly started getting more and more people that wanted to play with them. So they eventually kind of started just like a little league. And from there, more people started coming out to that league and wanting to play every weekend. So they moved it to opened it up to another city. And the guy who runs USA Ball Hockey reached out to Anthony and was like, hey, how do we take what you're doing nationally? And the NBHL is now sanctioned by USA Ball Hockey, which is super sick. Again, I think that it's been so cool to see the growth and to be able to document that and just hear their story. I mean, they started out in Philadelphia, and now I think they're in 35 different states, and then like 1 or 2 provinces now in Canada, which is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. But they have a very interesting model too, where they basically they have a whole blueprint. So say, you're in I don't know, New Jersey or something, and you're very well connected to a rink or something. You could start your own league there, and you're basically just taking their blueprint and utilizing that, and then you're just reporting to the league every week with stats and things like that. But another thing that they do is they create content around every team in that league. So they have people that are at these games recording games and posting the games on social media. They're recording clips and things like that. So they're kind of making these athletes who are playing in this feel like professional athletes in a way, which is so cool because you don't really see that in men's league. You don't see that in like men's league softball or anything like that. So that part of it is super interesting.
Yeah, I think what's his name? Nose-faced Kayla.
Yeah.
Is he a ball hockey guy?
Yeah.
Played in Chicklets Cup.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure there's some other big personalities in there that make up that whole league too. So yeah, it's cool.
I was going to ask you, Nick. Sorry, what was like the filming process? Like, how did you guys get it filmed, and then also like how long do you think it took you to edit?
Tournament was in September of 2024. Anthony and I met for the first time in person in July of 2024, and just went to lunch. I asked him a million questions just about the league, where they were, what they did, how it started, and from there, I kind of pieced together a creative script to kind of follow. I wanted some storylines from him or himself as well as like from staff members and things like that, and then also from players. So like every player's got like a different story. But we started filming it in September when they were here for their tournament, and from there we shot all the interviews with the staff members, the players. And then post-production, we started doing that like 2 weeks after we shot everything, and post-production started, I think, like third week of September, and we just wrapped it up now. We wrapped it up last week, and that was end of March. So it was a pretty long, lengthy process. Probably went through about 6 different exports of drafts, sending it to them and getting feedback. I was very nitpicky on it. Adam and I both edited it too, so I edited it to a point where I was comfortable with the storyline, and from there Adam went in and did all the graphics, he did all the animations and things like that people are going to see in this.
Nice. Yeah, that seems like it was quite the process. It probably feels good to get it across the finish line finally.
Yeah, it was definitely lengthy. I think like for the next time I do that, like I feel like I learned a lot just doing that, and I wanted to have a much bigger crew, but when we shot all of the interviews, it was really just me and Adam that shot a lot of this stuff because everybody else at the studio was all tied up. Like Derek, I know you were out of town, I think, for that weekend we shot everything. But I think the next time I do something like this, I definitely want to have a much bigger crew. And I also want to try and figure out a way to speed up post-production a little bit, because post-production does take a long time. But yeah, I'm happy with how it came out, and I'm excited for people to watch it and just, hear more about their story.
Release date?
April 14th.
April 14th. Cool. Sick. That would be dope to see.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're back again for New Era 5950 Day. It's going to be on May 9th at New Era. We have a new fitted that we're going to be releasing this year. A little bit of a remix from last year. The one last year was so popular. We had the metallic gold stitching on the front with the smiley. This year is going to be super sick. We got the I'll show the hat right here. Nice 5950 hat. We got the DISHIN word mark on the front. And then the side patch is so sick. It's got this, the actual 5950 Day sticker and the metallic gold, the smiley on the back, green underbrim, just a classic joint here. So, yeah, it's going to be fire.
I love this too. Like you said, kind of similar to last year. Like last year we had the word mark just right on the back, but now and smiley was on the front, but now we have smiley on the back. So, these hats went quick last year, I remember. So, I'm excited for 5950 Day. It's always a fun time in Buffalo to be here for that. And
New Era always does a great job with this event. They always have different food truck arrangements. There's going to be some 5950 Day exclusives that they're going to have in the storefront too. So get out May 9th and be a part of it. We're going to have these DISHIN hats available. Going to go really quick. So make sure you're there right on drop day and be a part of it. It's going to be dope. And then, excited to announce that we also have a huge lineup with New Era coming out this fall. It's going to feature 8 or 9 more hats. We're also going to be unloading some apparel as well. Just some apparel that is going to be just incredible. Stuff that we've been working on for probably the past 6 months. That's going to be just all cut and sew pieces. Some pieces that are just like completely thought after from scratch. And yeah, can't wait to see everything come out. There's a lot that went into it as far as the color palette, everything material that we were working on, even down to the embroidery details, decoration, all that. It's going to be unbelievable. So that stuff's going to come out this fall. I know we have some cool stuff in the works as far as content and rollout and release and all that. So more to come with New Era as always. But yeah, 5950 Day, May 9th, and then all the apparel and everything, all the more headwear that's going to come this fall too.
Fire. We have a very exciting show and tell piece.
4 show and tell pieces.
Yeah, 4 of them. They're all righties though.
Yeah,
Bring them in
unfortunately.
here.
Yo, Benny, you want to come show these off?
Wow. You want to take a couple here?
Yeah, so my boy Geppetto out of Winnipeg runs, I'm sure a lot of people watching the pod right now or listening to it have heard of Pro Stock Sticks. So yeah, and fun fact, Ovechkin's using one of these right now. That's pretty low key. Not many people know that, but yeah, work with Geppetto on making these twigs just completely from scratch. So he sent me the template. I did the design for it and everything. I wanted to have the stars in there. I wanted to have the spray paint. It's kind of a nod to Willie Styles and Sherwood there, but always loved that look. And then yeah, just some really clean details throughout the whole thing. We got the smiley, the eyes on there, some more stars at the top, and then some cool details underneath too, like crafted by Pro, designed by DISHIN. So yeah, these are going to be available for pre-order probably the next week or two. So be on the lookout for that. Probably by the time that you're watching this pod, they're going to be available. Probably open it up for 2 weeks. Have a bunch of different colors here too. I think we're going to open up a powder blue option as well. So yeah, some of the curves on these are just insane too. So you're going to have the option to pick your flex, curve, grip, length.
They got it all.
Everything.
Every curve under the sun.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter make. They've got it. You know, if you want an old one. I mean, I saw Paul Coffey's on there. Mm-hmm. You can get PK 88s on there, which I know are kind of hard to find nowadays. Like,
yeah,
there's some nasty curves on there.
And these things are light too. Like these things are very light. I'm so impressed with just the look, the feel, like everything from top to bottom of these sticks. I mean, they came out way better than I had anticipated. And it's going to be cool to see like what people think about them too. I know you guys started using them a little bit in men's league. A lot of people had some positive things to say about them. So stoked, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, we haven't talked about price point yet, but these are going to be pretty affordable. So we're looking between like 150, 200. I mean, when you go to a stick now, you can just like absolutely empty the bank. It's a lot of times costing you like $300 or $400. So yeah, we want to make these available for all players. We're going to have intermediate options as well. So yeah, excited about this, man. This is going to be dope. I think it's going to change the game in a lot of ways. And for you to have an affordable stick that really meets the same quality threshold that you see on the rack in comparison to other ones, it's going to be really dope, and excited for that. And I think one of the best parts about it is the design of it is super clean. You're going to be able to pick all the features that you want from curve to flex to grip, everything we talked about before. So yeah, be on the lookout for these. These are going to be available on the DISHIN site probably the next week or two. So again, pre-order, and probably expect these to be 3 weeks or so to produce. So these are going to be at your door pretty quickly. A couple shout outs I want to give. I want to give one to Daniel Garcia for wearing the custom DISHIN trunk and the jacket at AEW Revolution. He's got a big fight coming up this weekend against Adam Cole. So thank you to the Buffalo Kid as usual. Always fun to work with him on design and everything. Kind of based on his vision and us being able to bring it to life. So shout out to him, and then shout out to the EHC Junior Bears, team out of Germany, U20 team that's playing in playoffs right now. We did a team order of skate skins for them. Yeah, work with them on designing the entire set. Had the logo in there, some numbers, some cool colors, the blue and red, and then threw like a landmark on the back of somewhere in Berlin, Germany. So yeah, 2 quick shout outs there, and just want to say thank you to both of those individuals.
Hell yeah.
Great content from that team too.
Fucking right, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of all I had today.
Yeah, we're going to have a pop-up at the shop pretty soon. Looking like it's going to be Saturday, May 17th. Details to follow. But yeah, we haven't done many pop-ups at the shop, aside from like the grand opening that we did. But got the shop in a really great spot right now. All the front shop and everything that we have behind the scenes is really coming together really nice. So going to be great to have everybody out here. We're probably going to do some pretty cool stuff. Maybe we'll get like a food truck, or maybe we'll bring the bubble hockey out, do some unique stuff. Maybe we'll get like an autograph signing or something like that. I don't know. Do
That'd
some
be cool
fun stuff. So yeah, looking like May 17th. So yeah, we'll have all the merch in the back. Gonna pull everything out. Gonna be a lot of pieces that nobody's ever seen before that we're gonna have on display. Probably also do some new pieces as well. Yeah, so May 17th that's looking like, and more details to follow.